Hey guys, want to show your support to the channel and get some awesome rewards at the same time? Then go check out my Patreon page where at whatever tier you choose that fits your budget, you'll get plenty of rewards such as updates and announcements on the regular, exclusive sneak peeks of my videos before they go up online, get yourself credited, and receive a special shout out at the end of my videos and more. Go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to start pledging today. And don't forget to also check out and consider gifting me any items I have listed on my Amazon wishlist and even supporting me on my Streamlabs tipping page that'll also help support the channel directly. Links are in the description box below as well as on my link tree for you to check out. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Take care. Hey guys, like what we do on our channel and want to see more videos from us? Then not to worry about a thing. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that way you can see more of our videos coming up very soon. Thank you and enjoy today's video. Hey folks, I'm officially going to be coming to NocoCon this year, taking place at the Watertown Municipal Arena up in Watertown, New York from June 6th through the 7th. I'm going to be there all weekend as a cosplay ambassador, and I'll be going as Venti from Genshin Impact. And if you click on the link down below or go to my link tree in the description box and use my discount code Ackley at checkout, you'll get yourself $5 off of your ticket purchase. Go to NocoCon.com for more details and information. And if you see me there all weekend, then by all means come on up to me and say hi. Hope to see you there. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and well, I hope all of you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day weekend right now for sure, because yeah, let me tell you, there's a lot going on for that particular weekend for sure, so yeah. So I think we might as well do the best we can to really have ourselves such a great time for sure. I mean, besides, I'm still reeling in from, of course, my time at Retro GameCon Spring Edition, pretty much that happened, pretty much within the past weekend for sure. So for all of you who have actually tuned into, of course, my videos on that, thank you so much. Yeah, it really is a whole lot, and I really can't wait to see on what RGC Spring will have for next year, and you bet I'm actually looking forward to the main convention coming up this fall for sure. So yeah, so I guess pretty much between that and of course NocoCon that's gonna be happening in less than a couple weeks from now, which I'm really excited for, hands down. I think I might as well bridge the gap by far and of course do what I normally do pretty much when it comes to these thoughts videos for sure. So yeah, we're back again with, of course, a brand new movie that just came out, guys, recently for sure. That yeah, I have the privilege to actually go see as of now. So yeah, and I guess for this case alone, well, I guess we might as well dive into something that we haven't delved into in about 6 to 7 years for sure, because yeah, let me tell you, I can't believe it's been that long for sure. So yeah, so I guess for that case alone, I think it's time that pretty much for today's movie, we get ourselves in to return to, of course, a galaxy far, far away. Yep, but I think that would get you the idea, of course, on that front. So yeah, I guess it has been a long time since we've actually talked about one of these for sure. So I think it makes sense to double back into, of course, pretty much Star Wars for sure. So yeah, and yeah, I guess not counting most of the Disney Plus shows I covered in the past for sure. I can't believe it's been that long since we've actually talked about a Star Wars movie for sure. So yeah, probably took as long as, of course, this movie that we're going to be talking about for sure. So So yeah, but I figure this would be the right time for me to talk about it for sure, and well, I guess in this case, well, this is the way. Yeah, I think you can kind of get the idea, of course, that front for sure. So I guess based on, of course, what I've actually pretty much on what I've just said for sure. Yeah, looks like we're gonna be talking about the latest movie that just came out as of recently. That, of course, pretty much is, of course, the new Star Wars movie that we're going to be diving into for sure, so yeah, so with that being said, let's get our helmets pretty much on and prepare ourselves to say this is the way for sure as we talk about the latest movie that just came out as of recently, which is none other than The Mandalorian and Grogu, So yeah, that is of course what we're going to be talking about here today. Not only is this the latest film that just came out not too long ago, but surprisingly enough, seeing how it is actually Star Wars themed for sure, it is of course based around pretty much one of the most well-known Star Wars shows that we actually got for sure, and that being of course, well, The Mandalorian. So yeah. It's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, I guess before I could go ahead and talk about this latest movie, I think it makes sense for me to brush up on pretty much on what I remember, pretty much on what I thought of, well, The Mandalorian for sure, so yeah, so I guess pretty much of anything, if you were to ask plenty of people involving Star Wars for sure, well, surprisingly enough, if there's one thing that actually did came out of course, Star Wars, it's after what it's actually been through with the sequel trilogy for sure. Surprisingly enough, The Mandalorian is probably the one that really, yeah, that not only pretty much really got us hooked on with anything Star Wars related, but actually pretty much redeemed itself after pretty much what pretty much Star Wars has been through after wrapping up the sequel trilogy for sure. So yeah, everything about The Mandalorian definitely needs no introduction for sure, because, yeah, let me tell you, it actually did kickstart, of course, pretty much the trend that's currently going on as of now with, of course, all the Star Wars shows that we actually got on Disney Plus for sure, with, of course, not just this, but also several others for sure, like, of course, Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, Ahsoka, and that's just to name you a few for sure, so yeah. So I guess pretty much, if anything, I think all the Star Wars shows, whether, yeah, pretty much whether they're hit or miss for sure, really actually have been going strong for sure, and we do owe a whole lot to the Mandalorian for doing exactly that for sure, so yeah, and everything about that show really is quite amazing for sure. Just basically Star Wars' own take on a spaghetti western for sure, with not only some engaging stories, interesting characters, and brilliant pretty much visuals and effects, and even great acting for sure. Yeah, I will say The Mandalorian really is actually pretty much the one show that we really owe a whole lot pretty much to really get ourselves hooked on with Star Wars again and actually really enjoying it for sure. So yeah, and if you may recall, several years ago, I actually did talk about the first two seasons of The Mandalorian for sure, and I absolutely really enjoyed it, hands down for sure. I really do think they really have a lot going for it, and I was hooked on all the way with what they actually did for sure. Now, like I said, I only saw the first two seasons, hands down for sure, but I never really delved into season 3 for sure, so I might be missing out a whole lot, in case a lot of you guys are wondering, but regardless of course, all that, I still really do enjoy the first two seasons of The Mandalorian, and it really is actually quite amazing for sure, so So yeah, so when I heard the news that they were going to be doing a movie based around the show for sure, I actually got myself excited but curious at the same time for sure, because yeah, let me tell you, even though the main Mandalorian series has of course wrapped up, where can you go for of course a full-on movie to wrap up his arc for sure? But at the same time, it actually does make sense because, yeah, surprisingly enough, it has been about 6 to 7 years since after we actually got pretty much a Star Wars movie on the big screen for sure. So I think we're pretty much long overdue to get ourselves in with a brand new one for sure. So yeah. But that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, and I'm still willing to give it a fair shot for sure. So, of course, I managed to get myself in to go and see this movie for myself, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas, as always. You guys rock, and I even invited my dad to actually see this movie with me for sure, just to see on how it'll go for sure. So yeah, and of course, now that I've officially got back from, of course, seeing it, I guess a lot of you guys may be wondering, what do I think of this one now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I will have to say for what it is okay from what I've actually seen, so yeah, that's probably the best way I can actually describe this movie from, of course, my perspective for sure. I can't necessarily say it's actually as great, or of course has that admiration of course, the main Mandalorian show, but I can't necessarily say it's awful as well for sure. I definitely do think this film is fine for what it is, hands down for sure, which, honestly, I think is probably the best way I can describe it for sure. So yeah, I don't hate this movie. I don't think it's that great. I personally think it's okay in my book for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alrighty then, well, now that I've officially got the short version out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about everything that I need to talk about for sure. For starters is, of course, the story, and yeah, honestly, to me, I think from what I can gather, the story in this movie, I do kind of felt it's a little disjointed from what I'm actually seeing for sure. Yeah, I think pretty much from what I've actually seen by far, it's almost like they wanted to cram in like about maybe 3 or 4 episodes of course, of the show and condense them down for a whole 2-hour-long movie for sure. And honestly, to me, I think that just kind of, yeah, I think that just kind of feels a little out of place from what I've actually seen for sure. I mean, granted, there are some parts in this movie that really got me hooked on for sure, and I wish I could have seen a whole lot more of it, hands down. But some of the other parts just kind of seem to overlap, hands down for sure, and does kind of deviate way too much from, of course, from what it was going for, resulting in this movie just, well, kind of going all over the place for sure. So yeah, I do kind of felt that could have been reworked a whole lot more, or maybe pretty much go over on what worked well in the first 2 seasons for sure, and how to implement that in, of course, this movie for sure, while still keeping the love and the theme of course, Star Wars into the mix for sure. So yeah, but that's at least my perspective, hands down for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say for the story for, of course, this movie for sure. Now, as for the writing as another aspect, well, that too alone, I just kind of felt is pretty much on the same level for sure. I really do felt pretty much the writing in this film is kind of way too sloppy from what I've actually seen, and yeah, like I said, they do have some good ideas that they want to pretty much go for, but it's not really executing properly from what I've actually seen, thus making it, well, kind of not really something that would get me engaged on for sure, hands down. Maybe like another draft or two would probably help fix things up to make it all the more great, but I think with what we actually got right here, yeah, I think it kind of shows, of course, some of the massive bumpy areas this movie is actually really showing hands down, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, with the story and the writing for sure, yeah, there are some parts in it that I really do think are actually quite nicely done, and I wish we could have seen more of them hands down. But with not really a great execution from what I've actually seen in some disjointed areas all over the place, it just kind of makes it, yeah, it just kind of makes this movie just not really something that would get me hooked on all the way for sure, and doesn't really have that same wow factor as The Mandalorian like I was hoping for hands down. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Okay, I guess I'm done with that. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things that I need to talk about for sure. So yeah, to which next up is, of course, the characters, and, well, I will say, if there are some bright spots that I can find with this movie for sure, is that, yeah, I really do think the characters in this movie are actually really engaging for sure. Yeah, I really do felt with each and every single one of them I actually seen on screen, they're actually given some really good development that I really do think works quite well to actually make them likable and interesting for sure, and I do find myself rooting for them all the way for sure. So yeah, so I guess pretty much of anything, pretty much if there's one of many bright spots in, of course, this movie, I really do love what they did with the characters for sure. It's still the same recognizable ones that we know in the show, but also mix in some new ones exclusively to the movie that I really do think actually works quite well with what it's actually trying to go for, hands down. So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, for all the characters for sure. Now, as for the actors that came on board to play all these characters, yeah, I will have to say pretty much each and every single one of them I actually see on screen. Yeah, I really do think they really pulled off some pretty good performances, in my opinion, despite the crap material that's given to them for sure. That I really do think is actually quite nicely done. So yeah, I really do buy into their performances all the way, and I really do think they really did a bang-up job on, of course, that front. So yeah, and of course, much like the show, I will give massive praise to, of course, Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian for sure. I really do think he is actually a massive standout in, of course, this movie, and I really do think he really did pretty much a bang-up job portraying his character quite well for sure. That I really do think is actually quite nicely done for sure. So yeah. So I guess, pretty much like all of his other movies that I talked about before, yeah, I will, pretty much say Pedro Pascal really, pretty much did a bang-up job with, of course, pretty much his role in this movie for sure. I really do think he really is pretty much what we came here to see, and it actually does deliver. And of course, a few of the others that we actually got in this one does also provide some standout performances for sure. Like, of course, Jeremy Allen White really did a bang-up job, of course, this one. And Martin Scorsese, Martin Scorsese really is actually pretty much another great standout. And Sigourney Weaver, I will say, really is a really great powerhouse, and of course, this one for sure. So yeah, much like Pedro Pascal, I will give credit the Jeremy Allen White, Martin Scorsese, and Sigourney Weaver did give off some pretty good performances in addition to what I've actually mentioned for sure. So So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. So yeah, I think with what I've actually mentioned, I really do like what they did with the characters for sure to make them likable and interesting. And all the actors that came on board really gave off some pretty good performances that I really do think is actually quite nicely done for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright. Alrighty then, well, now that we actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Well, quite a whole lot, actually, so yeah, I guess for starters, I might as well talk about the action for sure, to which, yeah, I think I will have to say, the action in this film, well, it's not bad per se, I really do think there are some, good ones that we actually got for sure, but most of the other ones I just kind of felt were a little bit too generic and not really that engaging for sure. So yeah, I was kind of expecting more, pretty much hands down for sure, and give us some really great action for sure, like in most of the other Star Wars movies for sure. So yeah, maybe I guess more of those fire jets pretty much firing on people for sure, to maybe some, yeah, maybe I guess some pretty much laser gun shooting, or I guess surprisingly enough, seeing how it is Star Wars hands down, I guess we cannot forget about the one thing that we know of for some really great action in the Star Wars movies, which is, well, the lightsaber duels hands down. So yeah, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, hands down for sure, so yeah, but either way, I'm kind of half and half, with, of course, the action for sure. I mean, there are some that are actually really good, but I just kind of felt most of the others could have been a lot better, hands down for sure, so yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front, so yeah. And of course, the production design, of course, of this movie, yeah, I'm kind of half and half, of course, this one for sure, like, of course, pretty much, from what I've actually seen, they really pulled off some really great location scouting, and of course, some brilliant set pieces they put together to really give us something that really does feel like I'm in pretty much the whole galaxy where Star Wars actually takes place for sure. So yeah, I will have to say they really did a bang-up job from what I've actually seen, and of course, pretty much on top of what I mentioned, the visuals and the effects, I will have to say, yeah, I guess it is a bit of a mixed bag from what I've actually seen for sure. Like, of course, we did get some really great puppets and animatronics that actually do work quite well, and I am fully convinced that they are actually pretty much alive right in front of my face for sure. So yeah, but of course, the CGI, I have to say, I do kind of felt pretty much it could have been maybe rendered out a bit more, as I'm not fully convinced that it is actually really there for sure. So yeah, but I don't know, maybe it's just me hands down. So yeah, maybe they could have done a whole lot more from what I've actually seen, but with what we actually got, yeah, maybe I think the CGI in this film could have been pretty much done a whole lot better, let alone be as great as the puppets and animatronics that we actually got pretty much for sure. So yeah. But either way, I guess pretty much with what I've actually mentioned, I think it will get you the idea on what I thought of the production design in regards to this movie for sure. So yeah. And of course, the direction in this film from the film's director, yeah, I guess I will have to say, I have full respects for Jon Favreau for sure. He's not only a really great actor, but a brilliant, pretty much filmmaker for sure. And he has done a lot of good stuff in the past for sure, while also having some massive downs as well for sure. Well, I guess for the sake of this one, well, I think I will have to say I do give him credit for really giving off pretty much some good amount of effort for sure to really try to make this movie work. But it's almost like, pretty much from what I've actually seen, I think it almost kind of looks like the Hag, pretty much, he really is giving off all of his talent and effort to really make the Mandalorian show actually great for sure. That I think it does kind of feel like he was a little burned out for when he has to do the movie for sure, but like I said, I will give him credit for trying his best to pretty much give off some really good amount of effort to make this movie work for sure. And well, I guess he did try for sure, but could have been pretty much a lot better than we actually expected for sure. So yeah, but that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Now as for another aspect of the cinematography, I will have to say, yeah, I think I will admit the cinematography in this film is actually pretty damn good for sure. I think with, of course, what I've actually seen by far, they actually, this movie is actually shot pretty well for sure, as they actually got some really good camera shots that actually do work quite well from what I've actually seen for sure, and I really do think it is actually really quite amazing for sure. And plus, I bet it's actually even better if you actually go see it in IMAX for sure, because, yeah, surprisingly enough, yeah, I guess I assume the cinematography in this film really does look a whole lot better in IMAX, hands down, or, I don't know, maybe I went for a regular screen for sure, or something, I don't know, but regardless, of course, that front, I really do love what they actually did with the cinematography in this film to really making all the more impressive for sure, and I think this movie really did a bang-up job, of course, that front, so yeah, and of course, the editing, I have to say, as another aspect, yeah, I guess pretty much for what it is fine from what I've actually seen. It has it is actually cut up pretty decently for sure to really try its best to really making all the more great for sure. And yeah, maybe I think they could have used a few other tweaks in here and there to make it all the more great for sure. But it is done fine, hands down. And plus, pretty much for another aspect, it actually matches well with the film's pacing for sure, to which, yeah, it does kind of deteriorate back and forth from either being too fast or too slow from what I've actually seen for sure. So yeah, there's hardly any good balance in between to try to make it work quite well for sure, but I don't know, maybe it's just me, hands down, So yeah, so I guess with what I've actually mentioned, I think it will get you the idea on what I thought of this movie overall for sure. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright then, well, I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say about this movie as a whole for sure. So yeah, overall, I guess for what it is, The Mandalorian and Grogu, I can't necessarily say it's pretty much, by all means, a great movie, let alone have that same amount of pretty much greatness and admiration as the Mandalorian show for sure, but I can't necessarily go as far as say it's probably the worst thing we've actually got from Star Wars for sure, as there are some things that are much worse, hands down. I definitely do think it is actually a decent enough flick with of course some aspects that I think you would kind of expect for of course this movie for sure, and I guess for what it is, I think it's pretty much what we actually got for sure. Just a decent enough flick for what it is, hands down. That I really do think is actually is what it is for sure. I mean, granted, I think yeah, I guess pretty much a lot of chunks of course, this movie really does kind of derail it from, of course, pretty much having a great time for sure. I do kind of wish it could have been fixed up a little bit more. But some of the other stuff that they actually incorporate in that is actually really good. I really do think is actually quite nice, and I do kind of wish we could have gotten more of that, hands down, for sure. So yeah. So I guess pretty much of anything, I guess this movie really, I guess, is what it is for sure. It just wants to play out as like a big screen version of course, the Mandalorian show for sure, and it's pretty much what we actually got. So yeah, I guess pretty much of anything. I can't say this movie is pretty much on the same level of greatness for sure, like say the original trilogy for sure, or most of the other Star Wars shows that we actually got. Even the Mandalorian itself, and that's saying a whole lot. But I wouldn't go as far as say it's probably the worst thing we actually got from Star Wars for sure. That is pretty much on the same level as pretty much probably, let's say, a lot of the negative reactions people gave to The Last Jedi, to whatever happened with, of course, pretty much The Rise of Skywalker, to Solo bombing for sure. And yes, by the way, Solo was not a box office hit, in case a lot of you guys are wondering. And yeah, and I wouldn't go as far as say that this movie is worse than the prequels. I mean, let's face it, nothing can top pretty much how bad the prequels are for sure. You can say whatever you want about the sequel trilogy, but I will say the Star Wars sequel trilogy is not as bad as the prequels for sure. Let that sink in, hands down. So yeah, I guess I kind of felt pretty much on this movie, I guess it's somewhere in between, hands down for sure, which I really do think is probably the best way to actually describe it for sure. So yeah. But I guess pretty much of anything, I can't say it's by all means a great movie for what it is, but I'm not going to go as far as say it's bad either. I guess it's a decent enough flick for sure. That is, of course, every single word of the definition, yeah, of course, yeah, I guess this movie is the definition of the word average for sure. So yeah. But if that's something you actually don't mind, hands down, you want to check this one out for yourself, then yeah, I definitely do think this movie is actually worth a couple hours of your time for sure. So yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot with, of course, this one for sure. In fact, I guess if anything, pretty much you're not going to get something that really is as great as the Mandalorian show. But you are still going to get a little something that is fine for what it is. That'll still make you want to say, this is the way. And yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can describe this movie overall for sure. So yeah. So I guess for what it is, I think it's what I can say. Of course, this movie as a whole for sure. So yeah, not really something that I would actually watch again for sure. But I can't say it's awful either for sure. It's decent enough for what it is, and that's okay in my book for sure. So yeah, that's at least what I can say. Of course, that front. So yeah, for my final score. Yeah, I think I'm going to be fair on this one, and I'm going to give the Mandalorian, I'm going to give the Mandalorian and Grogu a 6 out of 10 as my final score. Like I said, I can't necessarily say it's great, but it's not bad either. But I guess I give it to what I've actually said. It's passable. Not good, not bad, just passable for sure. So yeah, so I guess if that's something you're actually looking into, hands down, if you really want to see a pretty much a movie that is based around The Mandalorian, then yeah, I say this movie is worth a couple hours of your time. But But if you're looking for something that would be actually as great as the Mandalorian show itself and think it's pretty much absolutely amazing for what it is, well, I guess for me, I think you can definitely say what you can about this movie for sure. But for me, I think I'm gonna stick to rewatching the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian for sure. So yeah, not really saying a whole lot, but still worthy enough to still say, well, it is most certainly the way. So yeah, it's pretty much what I can say, of course, that front. Alright, so I guess with all that said and done, that's pretty much everything that I can say, pretty much about this movie as a whole. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest Fox video, and by all means, I want to ask all of you guys right about now, what do you think of The Mandalorian and Grogu if you've actually seen it for yourself? Do you absolutely really enjoy it? I think it's pretty much as spectacular as you hoped it would be, and really is actually as great as the Mandalorian show? Or do you absolutely hate it and think it's pretty much another betrayal on anything Star Wars related amongst plenty of others that are actually much worse, hands down? Or are you somewhere in between where you think it's just okay for what it is, kind of like what I thought, but for sure? Let me know down in the comments down below on what you guys thought of this one if you've actually seen it for yourself. I'm actually quite curious to see on what you guys think. So yeah, that's at least what I can say, of course, that front. Thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video for sure. And, well, I think I've got a lot to think about in regards to the next movie I'll shoot to go see for sure. What one will I see next? I'm not particularly sure just yet, but I do have pretty much my eyes wide open to see on what I'm going to be in for, hands down. So probably by the time I do catch the next movie I'll see on the big screen for sure, I'll be sure to let you guys know, of course, that front. So yeah, but I guess until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible, including my top tier supporters for this month, VD and Sam Shepard. So if you want to be like these guys and show your support to us, then go to patreon.com/AckleyattackTV to pledge now, do so, and get some awesome rewards within your budget. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427’s Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, backley95@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and plenty more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, And even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.